The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The book is Dave Sharapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are the Bostonian versus the book.
You covered 12. Covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus the book.
How do you like them apples?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sharapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Happy Thursday, guys. What's up? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the book. He is Dave Sharapan. I am Matt Perrault, and we are live on YouTube and Twitter. Same handle, at Boston versus the book. We get replayed on Sports Grid Television and Sirius XM, channel 159, you late night replay owls. We appreciate you guys, YouTube guys, when you post those comments. We see them. Thank you for the after hours comments. I know you guys are working and doing other things. We appreciate you guys coming on in. We got a lot to get to on the show, Dave. How are you on this Thursday?
We do. I'm good. Just a crazy night, but I got to sleep early and have been up. This is my fourth show of the day already, and it's before noon. Yeah, I've been working with people back east. You know, it's that week between the Super Bowl and no football this weekend, so everybody's like, what do we talk about?
Right.
Went on one show. They said, do you know anything about college basketball? I said, you know what? I obviously haven't watched Bostonian versus the book recently because it's all we've been talking about is college basketball.
Right.
You know, so another guy was like, you watch hockey, right? Just a little bit. I mean, yeah, a little bit. So, and then, you know, NBA is always, it's every day. I mean, the Lakers are -8.5 today at Washington. Are you kidding me? I went on the show this morning and said, look how many wins the Washington Wizards have. Six. They're getting 8.5 points at home. And I'm coming on your show and saying you should take them plus the point.
You like the Wizards tonight?
Have to.
Oh, my.
Have to. So, yeah. So it's been one of those type of mornings. And then, you know, I mean, we got to start the show. We got to mention it and talk about it. I mean, it's just a sad, sad thing to start with. Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of like,
man.
I mean, our thoughts are with the families who suffered just an unthinkable tragedy. So here's like the weird, crazy moment. So I'm watching this last night and I'm going, I get up this morning and I look at it again and Madeline says, isn't that where we stayed? Answer is yes. That river, right? The Potomac River, right with the airport. We stayed basically in like eye shot of that crash.
Wow.
Where that happened last night. Yeah, we were right by on the other side of the Potomac River, but the Hyatt House is where we stayed, right on the wharf, it's called, in DC. And you can watch planes at Reagan land like consistently. Now we flew out of BWI because it was easier to fly Southwest. So we were in Baltimore taking a train down to the city. We could have flown into Reagan.
Right.
I've always said this, and even when I was flying into Reagan, when I was living in Virginia and Charlottesville, it's so congested in that part of the country. Like there's airports that are out, like Dulles Airport, the other airport in the region in Virginia is like really far out. Reagan National Airport is so congested. There's so many helicopters and planes and things landing and taking off. It's like almost been surprised this hasn't happened more often than it did, but it affects the sports community because 14 members of the U.S. national skating community were aboard the American Airlines flight, many of them from the Skating Club of Boston. The Skating Club of Boston is famous because in 1961, there was a gigantic plane crash in Prague in which half of the skating club for Boston passed away. And 60 years later, they're still dealing with the aftermath of that from the athletes and the coaches who passed away. And the head of the Skating Club of Boston said this morning on NBC News that when you lose coaches, you lose generational talent being developed. Like it's not just now, it's 3, 4, 5 generations down the line of figure skaters who won't be coached at the same level because of the expertise that was lost last night. 67 people passed away last night.
Crazy.
Just just one of those stories that you just like breaks your heart. And then you hear that it happened again to the skating club of Boston. That's Nancy Kerrigan's club, in case you guys know who she is. They've produced multiple Olympians. Like those people are at the rink 7 days a week.
Yep.
Like that's all they do. And they're coming back from a camp in Wichita, Kansas, flying through Reagan. That was the connection. Wichita to Reagan National to Boston. Wasn't even a direct flight.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I saw it on social first and then went to the TV to find more information out, because finding anything with 100% validity
correct
thing on social is there's a spin to it all that you just have to be cautious about. And so we watched a lot of the coverage and then just went to sleep. I fell asleep and I woke up to it, and the news went from bad to worse with no survivors, and just crazy. I've never been in a helicopter. Have you ever been in a helicopter?
Yeah, been in a couple.
Okay, I've never been in a helicopter.
They're fun, but in before the chat, I love reading what you guys write before the show. So Sonic, who is one of our wrenches in the trap, but also a guy who does a ton of work for us with layouts and other things, but he's also a pilot. So he's been able to explain some of the things that were going on, because normally speaking, helicopters can get out of the way a lot quicker than an airplane can. So the idea that the helicopter hit the plane, he was being told what direction to go. And the theory is that the pilot who was doing a night training exercise with the Army helicopter, that he was looking at the wrong plane, that the air traffic control was saying there's a plane coming, and he thought he was clear because he was looking at a different plane. That's how congested it was. He didn't see the plane that was ultimately that he hit with the American Airlines plane. So if that's what the actual idea is, it kind of makes sense that that's what happened. But a lot of people who are in the aviation community, they're very confused as to how this happened. Like, there's been near misses and things like that, but to actually have contact like this, just tragic. Just absolutely, completely, and totally tragic for that. So Sonic's in the chat kind of explaining things. Oh, wow. Nancy Kerrigan's former coach was on the plane.
Oh,
wow. That's awful. Goodness gracious. So yeah, just sucks just on every level. Just after Kobe was never getting a airplane in my life, a lot of people felt that way, that the helicopters can be somewhat unsafe and in bad weather or in congestion areas. Yeah. I mean, they can be pretty dangerous in a lot of ways. I mean, it's flying, you're up in the air, you're not on the ground. So
right.
It's not to totally, we're not trying to move on too fast from that, but I want to kind of give you guys an update as to what's happening, because tomorrow is going to be a fun day for us. And maybe it's an easier transition to kind of get into what we're going to be doing coming up for tomorrow. You guys know that we've built a really cool relationship with Kenny Mayne. Kenny Mayne is appearing tomorrow on BVB at 2:30 Eastern time. Kenny will join us live. Kenny Mayne is doing a comedy special at Jimmy Kimmel's new comedy club on Monday, February the 3rd at 7:30. It's going to be a 30-minute comedic stand-up storytelling. He's not calling it like a stand-up comedy routine, but he said it's more, I talked to him yesterday, he said it's more him telling really funny stories like he did on our show.
Great.
It's more like Kenny being Kenny for 30 minutes. And then he's going to screen Wiffle Ball. You're going to get to watch and see his documentary, Wiffle Ball, that's on the Ken Griffey Jr. bit that he did back in the day. So that's going to happen on Monday the 3rd, 7:30 at the Kimmel Comedy Club, which is on the Las Vegas. It's in the Link Promenade across from Caesars and that whole strip. That's where the Kimmel Comedy Club is. And you guys, if you're in the area or can make it to Vegas on Monday, we'll have a chance to go for free. We're going to be giving away 2 tickets to this coming up tomorrow. We haven't done like live giveaways before, like your local radio station, but why the hell not? Like, if you guys want to come to Vegas and you want to be a part of this on Monday, it's going to be a pretty cool night for Jimmy Kimmel hosting Kenny Mayne.
It's going to be a fun show tomorrow. I mean, last time, He was on. Neil popped in. Neil Everett popped in, and we got some fun stories. Kenny gave us a tour of his house, met his wife, talked about his kids, met his dog.
Right.
There was a lot happening. It was right before Christmas. If you guys go back and find that show, it was hilarious. I'm sure Kenny's stand-up stories will be hilarious. The guy doesn't take himself, serious. He's very humble, and he tells funny stories. So it'll be good tomorrow. We'll get a Super Bowl pick, I'm sure. And then I don't know. I have already put in plans to go on Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll be down there for the show.
Yeah. Fun night, fun shows. Yeah. And you guys could join us. So we're going to give away 2 tickets coming up on the show tomorrow. How we do that, we'll have to stay tuned. How we're going to do, you guys, for give away tickets. Just stay tuned. There'll be something. It's a roll call Friday. So we got to figure out something to do with roll call Friday, ticket giveaways. You got to be able to show up and go. The first criteria is, can you use them? Like, don't just win the tickets and sit on them. Like, win the tickets and make sure you actually can come to Vegas, or you're from Vegas, or you're from LA or something, and you're able to get over here on Monday night to go to Kenny Mayne's event. So if you can do it, we have 2 tickets for you guys coming up.
Assuming it's 21 and over at the club.
Most comedy clubs are.
Yes,
yeah,
I would assume so.
Most. Okay. I'll double check on that, but most comedy clubs will be 21 plus.
Only because if like Kendall or somebody finds out about it, she'll try to, get, a night out of it. And Kendall, can't go.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's 11 now.
It is 7:30. So that it might be all ages, because it's 7:30 and not 9:30. Normally the late show, that's because they do two seatings a night at comedy clubs, like 7:30 and 9:30.
Yeah.
So maybe the 7:30 will be, but I can't see it being anything more than 18 plus. All ages would be somewhat surprising.
Right.
Most comics don't want kids running around when you're dropping the C word and saying different things that might not be family or kid friendly when it comes to comedy. So,
well, we got you.
We got you. I said C word. That's all I said.
I know.
So far that. Not to more. I don't know. We want to call this bad news, typical news, breaking news. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that federal authorities are now investigating Terry Rozier.
Yep.
For his potential involvement in performance fixing for sports bettors. This is the Jontay Porter story continuing to expand to now another NBA player beyond just Jontay Porter. Because if you remember, the NBA was very quick to say this is involving one player, one rogue player, not everybody. But as the Wall Street Journal is reporting, he's now being investigated by prosecutors as to whether or not he manipulated his performance as part of an illegal sports betting scheme. On the right side of your screen, or left side of your screen, is the salaries for Terry Rozier. If we were talking about Rozier with the Celtics, I might say, okay, maybe there's something to it. Maybe he needs the money. But after he went to Charlotte, where he made $20 million, $19 million, $18 million, $21 million, $23 million last year. This is what everybody, including me, this is what I thought. Why in the hell would any NBA player who has made $110 million, why in the world would he ever get involved with a sports betting ring that's going to net him how much money? $50,000, $100,000, $500,000. You've made 110 in your career. What is this story, Dave?
I don't know, but my phone been blowing up all morning. People asking me questions or, asking for thoughts on this. I don't have all the details yet. I have no idea why someone making $20 million would even think about betting anything. I don't know if it's in props, if it's in games, but I can tell you this. We've talked about it multiple times on this show over the years and very recently. Let's talk about it being rigged. This doesn't help.
No.
This doesn't help. This gives all them people fuel. Look, it wasn't just one guy. This guy's doing it, and he makes $20 million a year. Jontay Porter was doing it. He didn't make that much money, and he got in trouble. And,
well, he was a two-way player, so it makes sense why a two-way player. His brother makes a lot of money, but he didn't make a lot of money. Michael Porter Jr. is the star athlete of the family. He's the one making $10-15 million a year. So that's why Jontay jealousy and got involved with the wrong people, and Jontay now needs to go ahead and rectify because he got in too deep with gamblers. Terry Rozier is an established NBA player with the contract to back it up.
Yeah.
Now, he has sucked with the Miami Heat. He sucked at the end with the Charlotte Hornets.
Yeah.
And that has led some people to say, because his drop-off has been dramatic with his performance. Like scary type of drop-off for Scary Terry. Like what happened to Terry Rozier? Well, did he get in so deep with gamblers that essentially he's just throwing games or playing when he wants to play or being good when he wants to be good? Like, if you're the
fact
NBA
that we're
today,
even having to ask those questions is terrible for everybody.
yeah, and if you're the NBA today, what do you do with this story?
You
shut up and let it play out, or do you have a comment? Like, what do you do?
You talk about the Super Bowl. That's what you do, right? You always forward, never straight. It immediate right turn. What are we talking about today? I got a Super Bowl prop. That's what we're talking about today. Who plays on Super Bowl Sunday? What team? What game? Let's put this points with this. Yo, we're cross sport and propping all over today.
Is that why they're promoting the Bronny James versus LeBron James 3-point in G League potential? You seen this?
No.
So maybe that's why, because the NBA is talking about having LeBron James and his son do something against each other with the All-Star game. Like Bronny James at the All-Star game. Why?
I think even he would decline it right now on that. Like I would hope so, but I think they should shut up and let it play out. Probably. That's probably the best course of action, Joe C. Myers. Kevin Whitrock says sweep it under the rug and run to another room.
Here we go.
Enrique Villanueva, Big E. Haven't seen you here before. Welcome. If you're new, we call you a recruit. If you're a guy who just chiming in that we haven't seen, welcome back. Are we that naive to not understand that NBA and NFL, I mean all sports, are manipulated? Question mark. Come on now. Oh, Super Bowl, you say? Yeah, the Chiefs road to the Super Bowl. Not sketchy at all. LOL. Stuff's not rigged, Enrique. But listen, I can't make, if I'm in court making an argument, Chicago Kristen, we need a recess. We're losing. We're losing the battle. Yeah.
Terry Rozier, in his last year with the Charlotte Hornets, averaged 23.2 points per game. He hit.
What's wrong with that? That's good.
He hit 35% of his threes.
That's good.
He grabbed about 3 rebounds. He had about 6.6 assists. So his last run with Charlotte, 23.2 points per game, 6.6 assists, shot 35.8% from 3. Terry Rozier this year for the Miami Heat is averaging 12.1 points per game, averaging 2.9 assists per game, and is shooting 29% from behind the arc.
It's a big drop-off. It's a big drop-off. And they won't let Jimmy back. Jimmy's the problem in there, Miami. Jeez.
But if we're looking for performances, we're talking about a guy who is still playing, 28 minutes a game for the Miami Heat. He's on the court a lot. We're talking about unders, right? You can't control overs as a player. You can only control unders.
So, why are they not putting all these pictures of him with the tag with the story? They're using all the Charlotte stuff. I had to pull this one out of,
right. Because he's known.
This is a classic starter jacket.
It is.
Though. This Charlotte. Oh my God.
But Charlotte is where he got the contract. He left Boston and got the contract. So most people assume they remember him for Scary Terry with the Charlotte Hornets. He was traded last year at the trade deadline to the Miami Heat. And he's been with Miami now for half of last year and all of this year. So that's why everyone's using the old school throwback.
Yeah.
Because I think of him.
It pops too. When you see that picture, it pops. But that is the reason why. Thank you, Enrique, by the way. He said he watches us all the time. It's the first time commenting.
What's up?
That's fantastic, Enrique. Really appreciate that.
Thank you for being here.
I don't know. I want it to go away. Because next week, Super Bowl week, there's going to be a story about some bookie, some joint, some square pool getting
Yes.
busted.
Busted. Yeah.
Probably, I hope it's not.
I think
another
you're the
player
one who
issue.
told me that like 4 years ago. He was like, they do a perp walk every year during the Super Bowl, right? I was like, what do you mean? He's like, oh, everybody in Vegas knows it. There's always some big arrest deterrent, don't do it because you could end up like this guy type of story.
This might be it.
This might be it. Okay.
This might be it. I mean, this come out now, like when
Before
all
we
the
get to New
focus
Orleans?
is- right? Like this is one of those things, and I mean, it immediately went to the top of our rundown.
Yeah.
And again, people in the business, 3 guys that are still in the business with that I know text me this morning. Bad news, or surprise, like that. With the different.
But Dave,
Whatever.
look at the salaries starting.
It's not the money.
I
It's
know,
not the
but
money.
but if you're making that type of money,
Uh-huh.
you're running with the wrong people. If you're talking to gamblers or you're like, what is your freedom worth? Like, is it all about just getting too deep with gamblers? And how down do you have to be for you to be willing to risk your freedom, given how much money he has made in his career?
What if you were with these people before all this? Before he went to Boston, he made him 7 figures. Okay, he's with his boys. Then he gets to Charlotte. And you can't be friends with these people no more. You can't be around these people no more. I don't know if he did anything or not. It's just the fact that they're even having these discussions. No one can relate to this because everybody thinks once you make $23 million or $20 million a year, you're not worried about helping your friend or betting.
Right. But I think if this is the next level, the next layer of the Jonte Porter investigation. So if you got Jonte Porter, and NBA players are friends with NBA players, so Michael Porter Jr., Jonte Porter, it wouldn't be that crazy to say that they've got a connection to Terry Rozier in some form or fashion. And so that relationship leads to, hey, I got a guy you can bet with. Oh, cool. And then you wind up getting down to this group and it's a syndicate and they're like, hey, you owe me $1 million. Either you pay me $1 million or I'm going to out you, or you can work it off. Well, how can I work it off? Well, just do me a favor and tell me the games in which you're going to wind up checking yourself out. Like, remember, we've got text messages now from Jonte Porter during the game telling the gamblers, I'm not going back in. Like I'm out. I'm going to the locker room. I'm not going back in. You're good. Go ahead and bet that live, or your bets are good. If because of discovery,
or that one where he said, if it's garbage time, then I'm going back in and getting all overs.
Yeah, go bet me over. Right. I'm going back. I'll go off and get everything. If it winds up being where the investigation into Jonte Porter led to text messages being uncovered that have Terry Rozier communicating with this group, it might be kind of an open and shut case. It might not be that difficult. And if you're the Miami Heat, you're going, oh my God, I thought the Jimmy Butler thing was going to be bad. Jimmy Butler, and for another week, is a Miami Heat player. I'm not sure what team wants Jimmy Butler because of all the chaos. He's been suspended 3 times now for just doing things insubordinate to the Miami Heat. And now Terry Rozier takes the heat off Jimmy Butler, but puts the heat directly on the team because who else on the Heat may be involved in this? Who else knew about this on the Miami Heat? It just brings up all of these questions. Back to Enrique's point. It brings up all of these problems about conspiracy theorists and tin hats and all the craziness that goes on saying these games are influenced in some form or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a two-way player from the G League. This is a starter. He started 21 games this year for the Miami Heat. He's making $20 million plus to play basketball.
Is it possible that they're putting out that this is an investigation and nothing comes from this?
Baloney. No, I disagree with that. If you're investigating something, the federal authorities bat basically 900. When they open an investigation into you, they got you.
Not to mention they put it out in the Wall Street Journal. Hard to believe that this would be a inconclusive result.
Right. Yeah. They know. The feds know what they're doing. The federal government understands how to, when they go public with a quote investigation on somebody, there's a reason for it. They're either trying to see how he reacts, see who he contacts, see if he lawyers up or he's good. I mean, they're smacking the bushes for a reason. They want to see what runs out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Terry Rozier and Big Baby. That's right. Big Baby is in prison he's another former Charlotte Hornet, former Celtic too. It's how they met, Rozier and Big Baby Davis. That's true. He's
juice.
He's in jail. It's like trying to avoid taxes. Yeah,
right.
They get you. Right. Knock, knock. Knock, knock. Call the lawyer. The expensive one.
Chicago, Kristen, when the feds knock on your door, call the lawyer, the expensive one.
Yeah. Because you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because they don't go in half-assed. They know what they're doing. So Terry Rozier, you're probably going to either have to flip, and maybe that's what they're trying to do, putting pressure on Terry Rozier to get him in, and then they want, hey, Terry, we don't want you. We want everyone else. So you tell us, okay, we got Jontay Porter, but that wasn't that big of a fish. Who's the whale? I want the whale. Tell me the big boy. Who's the guy that's going to get everyone's attention that really was doing this?
Wow.
If I'm Adam Silver, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing?
Right?
Yes, Chris, you're absolutely right. Basketball is the easiest sport to manipulate. They've tried so hard. Referees. I mean, that's, they've tried so hard. The NBA has tried so hard to say Tim Donaghy was a lone wolf. He was the only guy, one bad apple. And everyone's been like, really? Is that really how humans operate? Like one guy at a workplace doing something shady, never told anybody, never brought anybody in, never involved anyone else, making all this money and nobody else gets involved? Huh. Fly around the country, all these different books you can run into. You can have people make plays for you, bet offshore. Really? You never talk to anybody else. Okay. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, it's not good. And the perception is way worse. It's getting like, are they going to come after the league?
Only the league was complicit. No, I mean, they would.
I mean, the league is going to plead innocence.
Of course,
the
league might be innocent, though. It might be.
Well, no, I know, but is the league innocent in running an ad every hour on their own network, on their own this, on their own that, saying, "Look, everyone else can bet. You guys don't, though. You can't get involved in any of this. Don't do this. You can play, and everyone can yell at you about your thing." Everyone can yell about your prop bet. They can scream courtside and say, man, I need over 14.5 points. You better make these next 3. And you can scream and talk about it. You can put it on billboards. You can put it on ads. You can sponsor every show and podcast in the country, across the world. But now the guys are complicit in it. Don't do it. Don't do it. It looks bad.
Football
you got in bed with all of it.
It's not the federal government. It's the federal prosecutors. It's a totally different type of competency. Federal prosecutors don't miss. they don't miss. Federal government is bureaucracy and elected officials and people with agendas. And also when it comes to the Department of Justice, if a federal prosecutor is knocking on your door, you are in real trouble. And most likely you are not going to beat the rap. Like
Richie says they're going to make an example. They kind of did already with Jontay Porter. I mean,
right. Ban for life. But Rozier is a different type of ban for life because Rozier is, I mean, everyone's saying like Jontay Porter, G League, 2-way player, brother was, the real superstar. So like, it's not that big of a deal if Jontay Porter, because they want to eliminate anybody who played in like Bronny James, anybody who's playing part-time in the G League. You cannot have a prop bet be put on you in the NBA when you're playing because it's too easy to manipulate because these guys do need the money. Rozier's a different story. He's $100+ million making $20+ million this year basketball player. Like there's, it's a whole different level. We're getting Rozier. If you're going to ban him for life, If you find out he did this and you can prove it, and the same sentence comes down to Rozier that Jonte Porter got, we're in a whole different conversation. Because it's not some guy who just needs the money. It's some guy who was making real amazing money. And yet he went down that road.
Could be for any reason. That's the thing. I mean, we had it last year. In about 3 weeks from today, last year, we were talking about the news. Ippei
Right.
is in Korea with Shohei and the Dodgers. The next day, he's on a plane home because there's a gambling scandal. It was right before the season.
Did you
And
see
there are
the
a lot of
letter?
people- What's that?
You see the letter that Otani wrote for Ippei?
I didn't see it. No,
He wrote a long letter basically saying he was underpaid for years.
a character letter for him.
Yeah. Like there's a whole, like I think he took, I'm never not going to believe that he took a dive for Shohei.
Well, that's
Ippei
correct.
took a dive.
So I was just going to say that. Like, that's all anyone, the majority opinion is left with that. Like, and I didn't see this thing.
Because,
So-
I mean, are we not swearing or we are swearing?
Oh, no, we can, I mean, just say sorry, Will, before
Okay.
so he knows we're coming.
Because if
whatever you want.
if it was me, okay,
Uh-huh.
and my personal assistant was calling the bank to represent me and trying to get my money to go gamble and pay off their debt, okay,
Uh-huh.
that motherfucker would not get a single word from me.
Went for the big
Ever.
one. Went for the big-
Ever. I'm never going to write a character letter for somebody who tried to steal millions of dollars from me to pay a gambling debt.
It was a car loan, remember? It was a car loan. Did
But-
you hear the audio?
But
Car loan.
it's a car loan. I mean, I'm sorry. I am not ever helping you. If you're on fire, I'm going to laugh and warm my hands as you burn. Okay. You're telling me that he winds up writing a character letter for the guy who tried to steal millions of dollars from him.
Mm.
And you take the fall saying, I didn't pay him enough. I'm a cheap bastard. I didn't pay him. That's why he did it.
Mm.
Like, come on, man. Like,
Wow.
what are we doing? Don't pee on me and tell me it's raining.
Oh.
Like,
Mm.
dude, like this is,
Mm.
so I'm never gonna buy that Ippei didn't have a complicit partner in this, and the two of them got running, and Shohei's worth a whole lot more money than Ippei is, and there's got to be a balloon payment of something significant when he gets out of prison, whenever that's going to be, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is, that like generations down the line for Ippei will be taken care of.
Like, when you go away, don't say nothing. When you come out, no
Yeah.
books, no writing, no
Yeah, nothing.
movies, no Netflix, no nothing.
I mean, think about it. He's got 600 million deferred. How much money is Christopher? How much money would I have to give you for you to go away for 5 years?
Me?
How much
I ain't
money
going
would
away for 5 years for you. No
no,
chance.
no, not for you. But if I was going to pay you, how much money would I have to pay you for you to go away for 5 years?
I'm old, man. I can't go away for 5
Well,
years.
he's
I don't-
say
how
when
much-
you're 35. I think he pays 35, right? He's in the mid 30s.
I mean,
How much money? Because I think a lot of people would do it if I offered you $50 million. Say, I'm going to give you $50 million. When you get out, don't say a word, don't write a word, don't do anything. I'm going to give you $50 million. He has $600 million deferred from the Dodgers.
right.
I'm going to break off 50 of it and give it to you so I can collect the other 550.
Hmm.
I think people would do it. King Carsey wants to know what your number is. What's your number?
Right. I don't know. I mean, this one, it really strikes close to home with everything and the people that I know and the things that have happened. I mean, I've had people that go away for years and don't say a word and do stuff. I don't know. I don't know what my number is. I can't fathom it because I don't know.
I mean, what's $10 million to Otani? What's $20 million
Nothing.
to Otani? It's nothing. It's a drop in the bucket. It's one
nothing.
ad campaign.
Right.
I mean, it's nothing for him to go ahead and do
Yeah.
this. So
5 years is, 5 years is 2 million a year. If you take 10, I think I need at least 10 million a year or 20 million a year to even think about it. So you give me 100 million.
Holy crap. Okay.
It's 5 years of my life.
Agreed. But
I could be dead.
You have no kids.
What if I get out and I don't get out? What if I go in and I don't get out?
You're going to white collar. I mean, he's not going to a real prison. He's going to a country club.
Everybody knows who I am. I'm staying forever. Staying forever. I mean, I got FU money, but I got nobody to FU with. No, I don't know.
Yeah, he dropped that on baseball clubs for kids in a day.
Right?
Fair.
It's just, I don't know. Corbin, you working today?
Oh, look at Pitbull. Pitbull's dropping knowledge.
What up, Pitbull? Worked for Federal Bureau of Prisons. Players get blackmailed. Players are set up by syndicates, a woman's ass,
and a
whiskey glass, cause impossible situations. Sad. Thank you, Pitbull 59. Man. I mean, that's possible too. I mean, what are you going to say? Right? All these guys forced me to do it. What guys?
No, Chris, I get you. Prisons aren't fun no matter where you are. I get it. They're taking away your freedom. I understand that. But some of them are like Paulie in Goodfellas.
That's a movie.
Hey, I'm just saying some of them are like that.
That's a movie.
It is, but some of them are like that. Some of them are really couch. They're easy. Conjugal visits and people can come and go and you're playing tennis. That's real. Like that's
not real. Those are movies.
It's not real that they're bringing in alcohol and they're bringing in food like in the back door and they're getting to go out. Like that's a movie. That's not real, but it's not as hard as real prison for a lot of people. So like a Fed prison can be, prison's prison, but white collar. Yeah. See, white collar, not nice. It's not nice, but I'm saying, would I endure it at 35 if I knew when I came out, I would never work again for the rest of my life? And my kids would never work again for the rest of my life. $50 million.
How are we getting that cash? How are we getting it?
Doesn't matter because by the time you get it, Shohei's gone. Shohei's career, it's not that big of a deal. This will all be done later in life when Shohei doesn't have to worry about it. It's all deferred money. He goes to Japan with all that money. There's no tracking it in U.S. authorities. Go to Japan, you wire it through different transactions. No worries. Got to prove it.
I mean, is that on like 90 days dating? How's that work? I mean, I need to know exactly. In fact, I need to touch it and feel it before I go. You're going to give me $100 million? How am I getting it? And where am I getting it? And who's getting it? In fact, put it in a holding thing right now.
Josie Myers, you worked at a federal prison in Fort Leavenworth. That is not a country club. No kidding. It's Fort Leavenworth. That prison's notorious. That's not what we're talking about. I'm talking about there's prisons in New Jersey that are not anywhere near, anywhere near the issue.
I don't know. We got people that have done the time. Whoa, King of Car Seats. Someone get me a Photoshop of Matt in the orange jumpsuit with a huge smile.
I have a friend of mine who worked with us. Actually, Sharon. She's been in the chat before.
Oh,
she sent a picture of a bet that I lost a long time ago in Huntsville when I was 22, I think 21, 22. And she's begging me to put it on the screen because she wants your reaction to it.
Really?
It's me in this pink dress.
You got that wigged out hair too? No,
it's a pink. It's a pink dress though. It's pretty funny.
Okay.
Bill Donovan made me wear it because I had made a bet on air and I was wrong. And then I was taking too long to pay it off. So he went to a thrift store. He bought it himself and he brought it in and he put it on the desk and said, "Put it on now." I was like, "Okay, yes, sir."
Wow.
No, it is not short. It's like a schmuck. It's like this big, huge, pink, flowing thing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. So
Chris Warren is in the chat. And he said, "My uncle was the vice warden at the federal penitentiary.
We got people in prisons
here in Central Texas." One, I didn't know we had anyone in Texas watching the show, so thank you for that, Chris.
Yeah.
And two, you ask Uncle.
Central Texas. Where is Central Texas, Chris? Where are you? Are you Dallas or are you further south? Where are you in Central Texas?
Central is probably right there. Or no, it's in the middle.
Well, Dallas is considered North Texas to most people.
Oh,
because it's about 2 hours from the border. So always in Austin. Very cool. Go see my brother. My brother's
Fantastic.
in Austin. I might need to go over to Austin. To go see my brother in Austin, Texas. Yeah. Go say hi to my brother. I love Austin. What a fun town that is.
Never been.
Oh, tremendous.
Drove through Texas one time on the way to when I moved from Pittsburgh to Phoenix. I drove through.
Yeah, I've done that drive. You did West Texas into New Mexico, into Phoenix, that drive. Yeah, that's how I moved here too. I did that. My God, that's boring. There is nothing out there.
Yeah.
New Mexico is a tough, like it makes total sense why they did Breaking Bad in New Mexico. You don't realize how rough that town is, how rough that state is. Albuquerque is no joke, dude.
Sorry, I'm not. You're right, 100%. I just looked down at the chat and Sonic the Wrench got me. Hi, I watch your brother's show. He told me to come over.
Knock. Hi.
Hey,
go see Colin.
Hey, Colin? Yeah. Matt Peralt, your brother? Yeah. He told me to come over.
Say hi.
Watch the show.
Colin, bro, come sit down. Let's bet some games. Colin's a degenerate of a degenerate. I mean, my brother is talking. Tell him to stop betting parlays.
Oh,
say,
man.
Hey, your older brother told me to come over here and tell you to stop betting NBA parlays. Can't
Adam with 2 M's, by the way. Adam, 2 M's, 2555. Was prison talk on the bingo card today? Absolutely not.
No,
that was.
I don't know. It might have been though, because the Rozier thing broke and everybody sent it to us.
Oh,
so it's because it's like since we've been calling out CBW as being like the resident news hound of the show, I feel like there's more and more brigade members that are trying to like rip that away from him and trying to like. I'm getting tagged like crazy with people with stories. Like whenever it breaks, I get tagged. Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah. No,
but I think people are like trying to steal CBW's mantle. Yeah, being like, oh. Well, you're not the only one who can tag Matt and Dave.
Yeah. Eron Sean did it yesterday with the stats for, and a bunch of you are doing that. Thank you. While you're here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to the channel. Tell one person about it. We got up over 2,500 subscribers now. We're trying to get the 3 dimes.
That's good.
Before March Madness.
Let's
go.
So
we can tell that story. Nikki Ciaramello, you're right. Producer, associate producer of the show. There goes the New Mexico sponsorship, Matt. It's gone.
It's okay. Albuquerque's yes. Albuquerque's the hood.
Yeah. Is the hood?
If you've been to ABQ, you know it's really true. I mean, they perfectly cast that part of the country for Breaking Bad. I really had no idea about Albuquerque before Breaking Bad, and then I drove through it, and I was like, I stayed a night over in Albuquerque when we were driving through here. We stayed over. And like I heard, like everyone's told me Santa Fe is gorgeous. Like go to Santa Fe. So I was like, all right, Albuquerque can't be too much worse. Oh yeah, it can be. It's a whole lot different. And they're like, the gangs all run Albuquerque, right? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like it's right by the border. Like it's a bad deal. It's a bad town. Like I didn't know any of that.
I went St. Louis from Pittsburgh was the first day. Then I went St. Louis to Oklahoma City, and then I got up.
OKC's awesome, great town.
And I went from OKC, and I said I'm going to make it all the way to Flagstaff. That was
holy crap.
That was the goal. And I was by myself, and it was a Saturday, and I was listening to games and all this in October. Beautiful weather, was great. And I got to New Mexico, and I was like, man, this is boring. I feel like I'm on the moon. I ain't seeing nothing but just rolling nothing. And I got past Albuquerque, and I started to get tired. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just stopping. I've had enough. In this place called Tucumcari, New Mexico.
Oh. Spell that?
Tucumcari. Tucumcari. I didn't say cum. I could have. I tried to space it out. What's so funny? Again with this. Don't laugh too hard and lock up your side, please. We're not getting up right now. Tucumcari, New Mexico. I'll never forget it. Look it up on a map.
That's better than come and go.
It's better. They should have a come and go in Tucumcari.
Tucumcari should have a come and go.
Tucumcari, New Mexico. Yes. Mikey, awesome. It's not spelled like that.
It sounds like a sex act.
I know, Thomas. I know what he was doing. I said it so he would.
Oh,
this is how we do the show.
That's too
good. Tucumcari, New Mexico, and I stayed there. I had a tremendous dinner at the steakhouse, and then I was nervous.
Oh, the steakhouse there. Okay,
There was
good.
a steakhouse. Yeah,
Carry. Okay.
yeah. And I watched the Braves in the World Series.
Oh.
And
Population 5,400, and they have a
Bro.
steakhouse. I'm shocked they have a steakhouse.
bro, it was a little scary. It was one of the most.
And by the way, it
sketch
is
places I've
spelled the
ever
way
stayed.
we thought it was spelled.
Tucum Carry. I wasn't making it up. That's it.
If you're a girl who lives in a name Carrie, you got a tough life.
Oh, I mean,
It's a
tough
truck
life,
stop.
period. It's
Yeah,
a
I
truck.
feel.
Yeah, it was. And
I went to
slept in his
school with
face.
one of those. That's pretty good, Brendan.
Come on, keep it together. Did they have milking
Oh, that's
machines? No,
great.
they did not.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, but I slept
That
with
is
one
true.
eye open, passed out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I got up at sunrise. I'm
Got
like,
up.
I'm
That's
getting
why I
the
was in
hell out of here.
Albuquerque. That's right, because I was with my sister.
Bang.
So I'm with my sister, who is at the time, Maggie was, I think she was 18 or 19. So I'm like with like my teenage sister in this like not so nice Motel 6 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. She's like, how long are we staying here? I'm like 7 hours.
Right.
Go to sleep. We're getting up and getting the
Right,
hell
I'm
out of
getting
here.
out. Yep, that's it.
We're not, we're going to get there because we're trying to get to Tucson to have her go look at University of Arizona and then to
Oh,
Phoenix to
yeah.
go for New Year's Eve. So we
Right.
spent New Year's in Phoenix and then we got to Vegas the next day. So, don't get, I'm not getting Dave started. What do
He's
you want
getting
me
me
to do?
started. Pitbull 59. We're good. Don't worry about it.
We're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good. All right. What happened last night? Couple interesting things from a college basketball perspective last night. So
Mhm.
we talked about it, about road teams having a tough time of it. Well,
Mhm.
that didn't happen for the road teams last night. Do you make of anything of the victories last night for Auburn, Alabama, and Houston?
Probably they're 1, 4, and 6 for a reason.
Right.
Ranking. These are good basketball teams. Alabama took it down to the end.
Yeah.
And I think they probably could have lost.
Yeah.
Houston's good, man.
Wow.
Houston
I was not right on that bet.
They are nasty.
Yeah.
In a one gamer, like
They're
you
tough.
better be ready for a fight.
But why can't they do it in March?
I don't know.
Like, what is, I can't figure that out. It drives me crazy. Why can't they do it when all the chips are down? They can do it all the way till like the Sweet 16. And then the free throws come in, like the little things that you need to do to win in advance. Kelvin Sampson's team just, on a one gamer, you're right. But when you play, better teams who can physically match up, who have the athletes to jump with Houston, they can rebound with Houston. It's that little thing. It's the, can they hit a bucket when they need it? Can they get a free throw when they need it? Houston hasn't had that yet, but this year, whoo,
For
look
whatever
out.
reason, Houston to me looks deeper this year.
Okay.
Like I feel like you're right. If you match their physicality and you're able to just break even on the boards or get out rebounded small,
Right.
those things at the end, like bad trips down the floor multiple times at the end of the game, somebody hitting a big shot against them and they lose. I feel like this is really might be the year that they actually get to the, depending on the draw, to the final 8 or the final 4.
It's in San Antonio.
That's what I mean. It's setting up where it's WV Punch Drunk 1. Houston is more athletic than Iowa State. It's close, but they are like they have whatever they have. Like we'll find out more about Houston when they play these teams again. Like the hard part of the Big 12 schedule is coming up.
Yeah, they play their schedule. They play Texas Tech at home on Saturday. Then they play Okie State at home. Then they're at Colorado, home for Baylor, and then the real trip starts at Arizona State, home for Iowa State, at Texas Tech, home for Cincinnati, home for Kansas, at Baylor. Like that's
last 7 games are
that's a really hard schedule for Houston.
Yeah.
They probably lose 2 of those games. I mean, Iowa State, Texas Tech can't lose again. If you want to win the Big 10, Big 12 regular season, Iowa State's 7-2, Texas Tech is 7-2. You can't lose again. Arizona's 8-1.
Yeah.
9-0 Houston.
Auburn's good too.
Oh, Auburn's tremendous. Auburn is, especially when
is a
healthy.
good basketball
When Broom's healthy, Auburn's deep. Auburn and Houston are on a collision course. I still think Iowa State can beat both of them. It just comes down to the backcourt play for Iowa State. They got to hit threes. But if they shoot the ball well, I mean, defensively, Iowa State can man up and body up with Houston. It just comes down to their shooting. I mean, that Houston versus Iowa State, I can't wait to see what the total. What's that total? 110? Like, what do you make that?
So
it's a rock fight.
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking about it with Wetzel last night too. I don't know how much time left we have to bet Houston unders in the 120s. You're gonna see 119, 117 coming soon.
Wow, KenPom has it way higher than I thought. KenPom has it at 133.
With who?
Iowa State, Houston.
Well, the Iowa State numbers are up.
Yeah,
you have to. I mean, that I would have said. Oh, I'd have probably said 131 or something like that. Just over 130.
Pause everything.
What?
Breaking news.
What?
Huh. This is only because we've got people who are big Ravens fans and you hate the Ravens.
What?
Justin Tucker's time in the NFL is done.
No longer with the Ravens.
Ravens kicker Justin Tucker has been accused of inappropriate sexual behavior by 6 different massage therapists in the Baltimore region.
Ooh.
Bye. Might have been a reason why Justin Tucker was missing all those kicks. He might not have been too great. Justin Tucker's the new Deshaun Watson. So, yeah. That's bad. And woe is right, Chef Benny. That's a Hall of Fame kicker. That's one of the best kickers in the game. And his time is done. Goodbye.
Man, oh man.
Wow. That's
Open
crazy.
Up social media. Just want to close it. That's crazy.
6 different massage therapists. 6. That's not one. That's not a small case.
Right.
But what's weird, so the headline is it's the BaltimoreBanner.com has this story. They're reporting that 2 of the spas banned Justin Tucker from going there. He denies the bans and the behavior that the women have said that left him emotionally scarred. After receiving a tip on January 9th, the Banner began investigating and spoke to 6 different massage therapists who recounted troubling firsthand experiences with Tucker from 2012 to 2016. This is a while ago. The women said they had waited long to tell their stories. Quote, I've told people about this over the years, and they either act like it's hot gossip or a joke, one therapist who worked with Tucker in 2016 said. But really, it was degrading. Man, this was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Not saying he didn't do it.
Right.
Not saying he didn't do it.
Right.
But, the woman said it happens 2012, Tucker's rookie season with the Ravens, to 2016, a year after he married his college sweetheart.
I mean, 2012 was 13 years ago.
I mean, that's
25.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I don't know.
Boy.
No idea.
I mean, it's the same exact thing that with Deshaun Watson. The exposing, the brushing, the exposed private parts, all of it. It's literally the same story as to what Deshaun Watson was accused of doing. Boy,
two schools of thought there, right? Like, why are you doing it now? Why didn't you say it then? Right? That's the way some people will say it, that, this is someone looking for money. And other people will say, well, if 6 people said it, then he did it. And there's, something on that end of it. I don't know. This is the first time I'm hearing about it right now.
Me too. Right. Yeah. It's, I mean, look, right. 6 women, hard to overcome that. I agree.
Yeah.
Especially if their stories match up, right? Especially if they've got some corroborating types of stories where there's a pattern,
right,
or what has gone on. Why didn't he just write a check before it got to this point? Like that's the thing with Deshaun Watson was the same point. Like there was an inflection point of his case where he could have just started writing checks and the women wanted more and more money. So he's like, forget it. I'm not paying this anymore. And then they went public. So I'm assuming the women went to him and wanted money and he probably feels like I'm innocent. So I'm not going to pay this, but only he and the woman really know the truth. So if you have 6 women all get together, you got to be able to prove that they all 6 got together to go after a money grab for this, this situation. I do believe that, and I've said this before, that like, if you go and accuse somebody of this and you're lying, you should go to jail. Like because you've ruined his life, whether it's true or not, you've now ruined his life. He will always be tied to this story. This would be Justin Tucker once was accused. It'll be like in his bio. It'll be in his obituary. Once accused by 6 women of inappropriate behavior. So it better be real. It better be true. And if it's not, holy crap. But again, let's see what happens going forward. But this is a long time ago. I mean, this is holy crap. That's the one thing I think he probably has going for him is that everyone who reads it's going to go, wait, 2016? Anything currently? Anything that happened like 2020s? Like, did he keep doing it? Not to say like he should have been be allowed to get away with it if he did it a long time ago.
Right.
But we have statute of limitations for a reason. Like this seems like it's a civil case. It doesn't seem like it's a criminal case. Again, I'm not a lawyer.
Right.
I don't know how long you have to report something like this. He's not being accused of sexual assault. He's being accused of inappropriate sexual behavior. It's just sort of,
It's weird too, because like every side has a story. Yep. The truth is somewhere in the middle. Probably true, Chicago Kristen. They'll ask like one of his teammates, like, hey, did you have any idea about this? Do you think this contributed to the kicking? It's so uncomfortable for everybody.
Especially on this topic. Yeah. It's like, yeah, because we all have, girlfriends, wives, daughters, like, you put yourself in that position and you're like, wait, what? What did you do? So, he has I swear I'm innocent. Like it causes problems in the locker room. That's why Deshaun Watson, I mean, guys in that locker room were not where they were cheering the injury, but they weren't upset when he got hurt. They played much better when he was gone.
Yeah.
Watson was a problem for that locker room. I'm sure. And maybe Justin Tucker will be a problem for the Ravens locker room going forward. I mean, he was on his way to getting cut anyway by the Ravens. I mean, people have said like awesome career, man. Unbelievable. Hall of Fame Ravens. I mean, amazing career, but the Ravens should move off of Justin Tucker and go find a different kicker.
Right.
Like you just have to kind of figure it out. So we'll watch that. Obviously that sucks. All right. Back to the NBA. Celtics crushed the Bulls by 22 points last night. They cover as 85% in our chat yesterday. I put it up because we all thought Bulls were live. No, they weren't. Right. They went down 10-0 to start the game, and it was pretty much a Boston run out. They scored 68 points in the first half. They crushed the first half team total was 60.5. They destroyed that, scored 68 and ran away with the game and won by 22 points.
Yeah.
Do you fade them in their next game, knowing that they are 6-25-1 ATS after a win?
At New Orleans.
Just blindly.
On Friday. At New Orleans.
What's that number going to be? 10, 11, 12?
One of those three. It's double digits.
Yeah.
It's one of those three.
Bet the streak till it loses. It's not really a streak. It's 6-25-1. So it's not like it's been in a row. It's just very profitable. Unless they keep, unless they start stringing together wins. Boston now is 6-5 straight up over their last 10 games or 11 games.
Straight up.
Yeah.
My first thought would be to take the points.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, especially if it's over 10. Right? But the Pelicans are so bad. Yeah, probably. Probably take the points. You?
Yes, 100%. Yes.
What did you say? 6-24-1?
25-1.
6-25-1.
After they win outright, not cover. After they win a game.
Oh.
After they've won a game, the next game, Boston does not cover. They may win, but they do not cover.
Wow.
They don't string together back-to-back dominant performances. And after they win, the books are adding 2, 3, 4 points onto the line.
Right.
They're making it more heavy after they win. So it's even harder for them to cover. So, I think you got to bet it. We got to bet Friday. New Orleans Celtics take the points for New Orleans.
Remind us, guys, in the chat.
Yeah,
By the
Friday.
way, Santana put in the thing, the Dodgers are still minus 380 to win the NL West. I want to recognize that every day. The guys coming in here and putting that in there. Thank you for that.
Did you do it twice? I saw it way back in the beginning of the show.
I saw it at the beginning of the show, and I just saw his name scroll by before, so I missed it at the beginning. But
let's see if I can
he did
find
put
it.
that up there. It's
So
way
many-
up there.
So it's way up.
Chat's flowing now, boys. You guys are doing a great job, boys and girls.
Repost
the
it.
comments.
Yeah, Santana, repost it, and I'll put it up on
Yeah.
the screen. So it's too far away. All right, put your bookmaker hat on me for a second, okay?
Okay.
If Adam Silver is successful,
Okay.
and he gets to fundamentally alter NBA games forever,
All right.
how do you handle this as a bookmaker? Adam Silver wants to shrink every quarter by 2 minutes. He wants NBA games to be 40 minutes, not 48 minutes.
So we're doing 2 20-minute halves, or are we doing 4 10-minute quarters?
4 10-minute quarters.
A lot of pause of play in there. It's too much. That's fat. I don't like it at all.
He wants it to be in a 2-hour window. That's what Adam Silver wants games to be played in 2 hours.
I feel rushed. If I'm going to go to a game, I got to leave early. I got to park. And there it is right there, Santana. Thank you. Shohei's laying minus 380. Dodgers to win. Pretty good. I mean, how does it affect the numbers? It affects everything. What are you talking about? The props, individual player props.
Every record
everything has to be shaved down.
Every record. But like how would you do that? Like say like next year the NBA is going to a 10-minute quarter. How much do you can't just blindly say I'm taking off 15% and dropping every number by 15%, right? The game's going to be played totally different. Rotations are going to be different. Guys can play the whole game. If you had 4 10-minute quarters, you have some guys who are playing 38 minutes a night in the NBA.
Correct.
So like they would never come out. They would just always be a part of it.
So it's a 17% reduction in minutes.
Time. Right.
The first month is being nightmare.
Right?
I'm just thinking, man, we may have just hit reason number 8 million. Why I'm glad I'm not in the risk room trying to figure out the NBA numbers if this actually happens. It wouldn't affect the sides nearly as much as you think.
Okay. Even really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody's going to be a 6-point favorite. They're going to be a 6-point favorite. It's not going to affect it that much. You might add a little extra to the favorite or something, but for the most part, sides aren't. The totals are a mess. The totals have been for 48 minutes, and everything you've done up to this point is boom, out the window.
I mean, this has been the
Does
standard
shot clock. That's a good question, Joe. TFP. Does the shot clock go to 20 seconds? The pace needs to be bumped up.
fair. Yep. Most likely put it on the higher pace, but that's not what he wants. He doesn't want higher pace. Doesn't want more scoring. He wants the games to fit into a 2-hour TV window.
Right.
So he's trying to program like a television show.
Yeah, I think so. Like a total of 220 would have to be. I mean, take 4
210?
points off. No,
Oh,
no, it'd only be 4 or 5
Just
points.
4?
But
Okay.
It depends, though. If the 20-second shot clock actually is a thing, then there'll be more opportunities. It may not affect it as much.
Okay.
Daniel Abunal, nobody was complaining that the games were too long. Daniel, you're right.
Yeah, that's fair. But the league
Why?
is
It's for the TV only?
yeah. He wants it within 2 hours. That's the window that he wants.
We're going to have a point where games are going to be played in empty things, right? Like why are you going to go to the game?
Well, I mean, COVID proved that, right? I mean, COVID proved you can do it. You can play an NBA game with nobody watching, with nobody in attendance, and people will watch it on TV. So we've already proven that you can do it.
I still think there's a place for a crowd at a game, but they're making it made for TV only events. I mean, go to an NFL game and watch it on TV. Be honest. What's a better experience? NFL? It ain't even close.
Right.
Ask the chat. Give them a poll. How's the NFL? Do you like the NFL better on TV or in person?
Oh,
I think we get
no,
80%
it's
or
not even
more.
it's not worth putting it up. It's not even a fair fight.
80% or more will say
Easy.
watching it on TV.
Yeah. That's not even a question of that. Like, that's not even a debate. NFL football in person stinks. It's slow. It's boring. There's not a lot going on. No, on TV is way better. way, way, way better on that. So he went on the Dan Patrick show and floated the idea. He said, I think of a television program being 2 hours, Olympic basketball being 2 hours. And college basketball, of course, is 40 minutes. Historically, this has always been a 48-minute game. NBA games this year have run 2 hours and 16 minutes on average, nearly identical over the past 15 seasons. The NBA has averaged 2 hours and 15 minutes. So it's not like baseball that was progressively getting longer and longer, and Major League Baseball had to step in to shorten the game because it was going too long. Basketball has been steady for the better part over a decade. 2 hours and 15 minutes has just been the window that they get played in. So he's trying to lop off 15 minutes. Why? What's the worry?
All right. Give the basketball heads a poll then this.
Okay.
Should the NBA reduce the number of games in a season? Forget the minutes.
Okay.
90% or more will say yes. 90. Adam, if you're watching the show, meeting Adam Silver, you're more than welcome to come on the show if you'd like. And if anybody at the NBA office can get in touch with Adam Silver, Adam, we'll have you on the show anytime you want. Just let us know. Get in touch with us. Ask the BVB at gmail.com. Email Sonic or something. He'll find us. Get in touch with us. Or me or Matt, either way. That's what needs to be done. Making the games more meaningful would help. I don't know if the NBA Cup is a big deal or not. I don't know if it moves the needle. I mean, they make it like it does for the TV.
I think
the TV
kids,
product.
I think to certain kids it matters. I think it's the NBA Cup's worked so far. Through 2 years, the NBA Cup has worked. Will it work long term? I don't know, but short term, it's worked.
It just really feels like they're really Europeanizing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 100%. Yes. That's Adam Silver has always said that he wants a global game. He wants at the NBA basketball that they're not really looking at it from the US standpoint. It's a global positioning for the NBA. Like there's going to be a division in Europe. Like that's going to happen. In our lifetime, there will be an NBA franchises in Europe.
That will play in the same league or will be their own league?
No, same league. It'll be in the NBA.
So they'll come over here for like 2 weeks and do a road trip.
Correct. Yep. And then teams will go over there and do a road trip and go through all of them. NBA wants that. They've always been looking at that as being the sport because it's easiest. I mean, from a cost perspective, it's the easiest. It's also the most, look at the leagues over there. I can't tell you how many kids I know that play international basketball in England, in Turkey, in Italy, in Spain, in France. Like there's so many professional basketball leagues in Europe. It's ridiculous.
NBA becomes the inter NBA.
Yeah.
Good call, Chef B.
This.
Yeah. Is that what people want? Or is that what the league thinks people want?
I don't know. I think there's a little of both on that. I think people want it and the league wants it. I think the league wants it because it grows the game. They make more money. There's more jobs. It's a moneymaker for the NBA. I'm not sure it's going to make the product better. Like if you're living in Vegas, I don't know if we're watching, basketball games in England. We barely watch East Coast. We barely watch West Coast games with people in England in on the East Coast.
I don't know. I don't think that's the answer. I don't know. Shortening the game, there's a lot more things to fix. And right now, like with the gambling stuff and everything that's going on with it, like today, they're going to try to talk about, you know what? Maybe we should leave the games the way they are. Maybe, let's talk about the time of the games today. I'll go on your show and talk about, what I said.
Right.
Anything
But
about anything but what's actually,
going on
with the, Rozier stuff. Yeah.
Anything about Terry Rozier. Very,
and
very
they
true.
bet over there. So, I mean, it's probably made. Turkey and Greece has a lot of U.S. basketball players. That's true, Pedro Franco.
Oh, I know. I mean, I know probably, I don't know, 20 that are overseas right now playing ball in Greece, Turkey, France, England, Spain. Like, most of the Creighton basketball players I covered,
went that way.
3 are in the NBA, like 30 are in college or in Europe.
Right.
A couple of kids that I covered in high school have been over there forever. And I stay, Facebook is how I stay in touch with them, and I communicate with them all the time. But what they're doing, it's wild to see. Like, I saw you as a sophomore in high school, and now you've been in European basketball leagues for 10 years.
Yeah.
Made a whole career out of it. Because you can make, look at.
Well, you can make real money.
$500,000 a year is legit.
Yeah.
That's to play basketball is legit. Yeah. So
put it in the chat, boys, if you've ever bet on a league other than the NBA in basketball.
Professionally.
Yeah.
No. I bet
Olympic.
I bet Olympic.
I've done it.
I bet Olympic.
Well, that's fine. I mean, but that doesn't count. I'm talking like when it's late night here, it's early in the morning or daytime over there.
Right.
There's Japanese basketball leagues. There's Chinese basketball leagues. I've done it. I've looked at numbers and bet it just to see if it would go through. It went right through. And definitely, yes. Look, Talati knows. All right. Australian basketball, yes, Brennan.
Oh,
we're not judging. No one's judging.
No, not at all.
Fire away, KBL, Enrique Villanueva.
You're going to bet soccer and Premier League. Why can't you bet pro basketball over there?
Geo DeWap, Japan, DGen Special. We're all the same.
To hockey, and this is wild. So we know the Utah Hockey Club is currently called the Utah Hockey Club, right?
Where the hell's my glasses for this?
They had every intention of being called the Utah Yetis. That was going to be their name.
Yeti or Yetis?
Either, both.
It's very confusing whether it is an S or not.
Correct. It's like, is the I plural or not? It doesn't matter because the Yeti Corporation that runs the coolers and clothing told them to buzz off. And so
ruined it for everybody.
The Utah Hockey Club went to the United States Patent Office and said, hey, they won't give us the paperwork that we need to be able to do this name.
Right.
What do we do? And they said, you're SOL. Sorry. There's too much confusion between what a Yeti would be versus a Utah Yeti. So you cannot use the name. Your mascot can be a Yeti, which is what they're going to do. But now they're having the fans vote on what the names are going to be.
Yeah.
Hockey Club is one of the options, just to keep it
Utah
as is.
Hockey Club, right? Yeah.
Are you okay with that? The Utah Hockey Club?
What are the other names?
Mammoth and the Wasatch.
Do you have a graphic for this, by the way?
I do not.
Okay.
Why?
No, I was going to say pop it up there because when you look at them,
there's no graphic. What do you? How they are?
Just look at the names. Yeah, just because I don't know. Well, there's the 3 names right there. HC Mammoth, or is it Mammoth?
Mammoth. Yeah, Mammoth and Mammoth.
Right?
Either or. Yeah.
Well, either or. I don't need a name that can be either or. Like I like Penguins is Penguins.
Correct.
Suns is Suns. If I'm in the East Coast, it's Mammoth. If I'm on the West Coast, it's Monmouth, or vice versa. It's very confusing already. I don't like that. And this last word I learned is the Indian word for the mountain range that is surrounding Salt Lake City.
Yes, but it's also,
I don't know how to say it.
It's known as the Mountain Defender, which is basically a Yeti-like creature. Like there's a logo that features a Yeti-like creature if you were to vote for the Wasatch.
That's how you say it, Wasatch?
I think so. That's how I would say it, but I might be wrong.
Somebody put the phonetic spelling for this.
The Utah Wasatch Mountain Range, known for its many ski resorts.
See, you just said it differently then, right now.
Wasatch. It's Wasatch. I don't think it's Wasatch. I don't think it's
Oh,
Wasatch.
see, could it be Wasatch?
Sounds like What's Up too much with a Bud Light commercial.
Wasatch. Wasatch.
It doesn't work. Yeah, the Utah Blizzard works. I think Wetzel's Utah Blizzard. I don't understand why they won't do that, but I don't get how they got to these 3 names because they had multiple options from a fan vote. They had like 15 different options.
And they got down to these 3. I think they're setting them up.
I would agree.
I think they don't want to change the Utah Hockey Club.
I
That's going to win.
I agree.
Let's go Mammoth or Monmouth and Wasatch.
Yeah.
And they'll vote for the Utah Hockey Club.
And now they're going
to stink.
And if you sell if you sell a Yeti cooler at a Bass Pro Shop in Salt Lake City, they're going to throw it out the window. Like all the people are really pissed off. They want Yeti and they can't come to an arrangement. The setup might be that they're putting public pressure on the Yeti cooler company to get them to say yes, to say, hey, like, let us use it. Like, come on, we'll give away Yetis every night. We'll do Yeti promotions. We'll do whatever you want, but we want to be called the Utah Yetis, which is still weird. I mean, it's still not like a clean name to me, but there's certain names like the Cleveland Guardians. I had to ask, what the hell is a Guardian in Cleveland? I had to ask what that was. This would be a similar situation. Like, what's a Yeti? It's an abominable snowman looking thing that they've got. Mythical creature.
Yeah. Type it in the chat. Which one of the 3 would you vote for?
Neither. All 3 suck.
You have to pick one. They have to pick
I would leave
one.
it as is. Hockey club. I'll leave it alone.
I think you're right. I thought about this overnight because we did bring this up yesterday on Sports Grid, and they brought up the graphic, and I read all 3 names and saw it, and I went, I can't believe this, but I think I would pick other. Of course, Butchie. Absolutely, you would pick the other, but you can't. So I looked at it. When I read it and saw them, what's Chicago Kristen trying to set me up here? Did you see what she said? You see what she said?
Yeah.
They're gonna put that up on the ground. I don't want to get in trouble. We might get in trouble if I say it, even not in trouble, but anyhow, I saw all 3 and I went
Wasatch. Okay.
It's
a Wasatch. Wasatch is how you say it. Thank you. A Wasatch.
I don't need that on my jersey. I don't
Utah Wasatch it's like that's awful.
That's terrible.
It's terrible. That's a terrible.
It's terrible. Yeah. So I mean, and Mammoth is just too confusing. I want something with an S. Both of those names end in an H. Well, guess what? Utah Hockey Club wins the vote.
I would agree. Yeah, they all suck. All 3 suck. I would agree. I think all 3 are bad. But Hockey Club's what I would vote for. If I had to bet one, it's Hockey Club, which could be the point because it's easier to change off of that and then go give it a team name if you want. JPC, stop saying soakers. We're not explaining to Dave what a soaker is today. I've already died laughing once. There's no way in hell he knows what the Utah Soakers would be. So we don't need to explain this to Dave today.
I don't know. We don't. I'll look it up.
Although I would be in love with you reading the Urban Dictionary of what a Utah soaker is.
Oh, really?
Oh my.
Maybe we'll save it for tomorrow.
Oh my. He wants you to read.
Come on. Not today.
Yeah, if you don't know what a glory hole is, your mind's going to be very
blown away by this.
Yeah, you'll be blown away by what a soaker is.
I was still answering questions this morning about the glory hole thing.
Soaker might be even stranger. Glory holes are odd. Soakers are very strange.
Yeah,
it's a very odd practice.
People saw the
happens to the north
clip,
of us.
and then they went and watched the show on the replay. Good. I said, if you watch the show on the replay, go leave a comment, please.
The Urban Dictionary is pretty good.
Oh boy,
on this. So the combine is going to happen in Indianapolis, but before the guys get to the combine, they go to the Senior Bowl, which is right now going on down in Mississippi. I got friends of mine who are down there. Weather looks great.
Have you ever been?
I've not been to the Senior Bowl. No, I know. Okay. I've covered it multiple times from afar, but never been to the Reese's Senior Bowl down there.
Okay.
But Shedeur Sanders was asked about the draft and teams that should be drafting him. He said on being drafted, I'm the most guaranteed risk you can take.
Wow.
Can you explain that sentence for me?
No.
I'm the most guaranteed risk you can take. What is he trying to say here? I know,
Well,
because it doesn't make any sense.
Well, no, he should have just said, it's no risk to take me. I'm guaranteeing it. Like, could have just changed the
But
word.
that's a more different, I mean, because he uses the word risk. So, like,
because that's what everybody's calling him.
He is a risk. Like, every draft choice is a risk. No one's a guarantee. Like, Brady could do the whole thing to Robert Kraft saying this is the best, this is the best decision this organization's ever made. But even he didn't call himself a non-risk. You have to take me. Just a wild comment. Like, I'm like, what does that mean? I'm the most guaranteed. That word, that sentence doesn't make any sense. Most guaranteed. And then risk afterwards is equally like, to what?
If they call him a risk, he's the most guaranteed risk that you can take. That makes sense to me.
It does. A guaranteed risk makes that sentence make sense to you?
Yeah, he's the most guaranteed risk that any team could take.
What is a guaranteed risk? It's oxymoron. Those are opposites.
He added the adjective to describe risk. People are calling him, drafting him a risk. And he's saying, well, if I'm a risk, so is everybody else that's a risk, but I'm the most guaranteed of those risks. Confident guy.
I'm the most stable lunatic.
There you go. Thank you, Sonic. That makes perfect sense to me.
It does?
Yes.
Oh, my. That is a very difficult sentence. That is a hard sentence to read and go like, wait, what? I'm the most guaranteed risk you can take? It's in Mobile. It's in Mobile, Alabama. Thank you, Jay.
That's why I asked if you ever went there.
Okay. Yeah, it's down there in Mobile. But like Mobile is like, it's so like all down there. It's all one. It's its own state to me. It's Floribama.
Smirch, Alabama.
I'm not disparaging anything. I'm just saying you end up going like you can be in Destin, Florida, and you can drive 2 miles to the west, and all of a sudden you're in Alabama, and you're like, oh, and then you're in Alabama, and you drive like 10 miles on, and then you're in Mississippi. Like it's all like it's like New England in that way. It's all just like I think in Mississippi, Alabama. It's all Mobile is all part of the same. Biloxi, it's all the same thing. Yes, Marcelo.
It's the geography portion of the show on the bingo card.
It's the coast. Yes, Marcelo. I agree. Just the whole
geography.
Gulf Coast, the whole area in the Gulf. No, never been down there. But I don't understand.
Just
Shedeur Sanders, I don't understand. I'm sorry. I'm very, very confused.
You wouldn't draft him with the top 5?
No, top 5 pick. No way. No. I'm not sure there's a quarterback I would take in the top 5 right now. I wouldn't take Cam Moore in the top 5. I wouldn't take Sanders. I wouldn't take Jackson Dart. There's not a top 5 quarterback in this draft in my mind. They're all late first picks to me. 30, 29, somewhere in that range. No
Jaden Daniels in this draft?
God, no. There's not even a Drake May in this draft. There's way, weak class.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really weak class from a quarterback standpoint, in my opinion, at least. Speaking of quarterbacks, I just need to get your reaction to this because you're a coach. So this morning, Stephen A. Smith asked Cam Newton, if you could give back the league MVP and in exchange for it, you would win a championship in the NFL, would you do it? And Cam Newton answered no. He went on by saying that football is 11. It's not 11 players playing as a team. It's 11 players all with one individual job to do. And so, no, I have to be excelling at my job. And if I excel at my job, that will then help the team. So I'm not going to give back my MVP performance in exchange for a Super Bowl because guys like Trent Dilfer have won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Where do you come down on this?
Told this story before on the show. Tell it again right now. We're in high school, and my line mate and I, dear friend of mine, I was the best man in his wedding. He was in my wedding, Rob. We're having a discussion about playing on a hockey team. And I said, I'd rather be a third line winger on a winning team than be a first line center on a bad team. And he said, are you crazy? And I said, what are you talking about? And he said, you're the first line center on a bad team. You get to go to the All-Star game. You get these team awards because you're the best player on a team. You get more money. And I'm like, you can have all that stuff. You ain't getting no rings. We're supposed to win. Are you kidding me? So I'm a win guy. I'm a team guy. So my answer is simple. Cam, I hope you enjoy that thing, and I'll take the championship ring, and that you.
At first blush, when he first said it, I was like, "Oh God, what?" And then he went and explained it a little bit more. And while I still disagree with the overall take of it, I got a little more clarity as to what he actually meant. But it does come off as like the ultimate me guy comment that like, I'm not giving back my own personal award, because realistically, what is Cam Newton known for? He's not known for much else besides the MVP year he had with the Panthers. You know, he had a really rough end to his career. Things did not go well in New England. He never was able to win the big one. He never was able to get over the hump. He made a Super Bowl and couldn't win it. So like it feels like you're supposed to say, yes, I'd give up everything to have one championship. But his response was, there are some guys who rode the coattails of great players to win a championship. I'd take my career over their career. So it made a little more sense, but it's a real big me, all about me moment.
And that's fine. Like that's there are guys like that. I get it. Played with them, watch them playing now. Like, I mean, you played sports with guys like that, and it is okay. LL, not every person values the same things the same. You're right. But
in sports, we've all been around it for so long. You are taught, told, preached to about team over your own individual performance. And like Stephen A. Smith wasn't asking it to set him up. He was just asking it just like, Cam, you would trade. Like he was assuming he was going to say yes. Like he was giving him like a really easy question to answer. And then Cam said no. And everybody went, wait, what?
Why?
And it went kind of a different angle.
Right.
So that, I think, is why it's making news, is because it's not coach speak. It's not typical to hear this.
Without a championship, I take it off on the show. Like I go, here's my MVP ring. Give me the championship ring. Like if you already have a championship, I could even go, okay, well, that guy just wants to keep that 1 year is what he's known for. Okay.
Right.
But you know how many, I mean, like as a little kid, just thinking about having your name on that Stanley Cup was a dream of any kid that ever put ice skates on to play hockey.
Right.
And I just always thought one time. And then as the Penguins got good, and then I was covering the team and I knew a lot of the players, and like I was playing hockey with their kids when I was young, and thinking about that's forever. Your team, your name is on that cup forever, man. Just give me that one time. Like we won a championship in college in the club league. Like winning the last game is forever.
Right.
And the guys you did it with is great. Like, so I don't know. And that was nothing. That was just a league. And like we won the college, the softball championship and the fraternity league, and like celebrated and got this big trophy and all that other stuff. Like it was fun. I like winning. I don't know.
It's tough because if you do your job and you perform at an extremely high level and somebody awards you an award that you did not vote for yourself for, somebody gave it to you, others, peers, voted to you, that if you don't perform the way you performed to earn that trophy, your team's not going to be as good as it could have been. So your individual performance elevated the team and you fell short. You didn't win a championship, but you fell short. Then you're giving that up. So like, I understand, like, I don't agree with it, but I got more as he talked. I understood more as to what Cam meant by it, but it still comes off as like a, you care about yourself, you care about your own personal accomplishments, you don't care about the team type of attitude. And it's like, ouch, Cam, really? Like,
I don't know. I always liked Cam Newton.
So do I.
As a player. And then
I like him as a
like
commentator
last
too.
year he went to the Patriots was a mess.
Yes, absolutely. But
mess.
Not all his fault.
No, I was going to say he was not put in a position to succeed.
No.
He's trying to get another year in the league and blah, 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 blah. and it got ugly.
The outfits, people can't deal with the outfits. I think the outfits are awesome. I think he's very unique. He's a
Guy wears
personality.
hats. What do you think? I think I love
Right.
it.
He wears hats. He doesn't just wear hats. He wears things we've never seen before.
They're 12 inches.
Yeah,
They're 12 inches high.
and he's a big guy. He's 6'5".
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
You ever see him in person?
Yeah, he's
One time I saw him in
yeah.
person. He's
Super Bowl is huge.
right.
It's
That's where we saw him, right? Walked by, we were like, "What the?"
Cam's enormous. Like that guy running at you is like, no thanks. I want no part of that. And he knows it. I mean, Cam said it before. Like he knows how big he is, and he dresses like a millionaire at the Kentucky Derby. Yeah, he does. Yeah, every day, not just for the Derby. He does it every day.
It's one of the things I'm going to miss about being at the Super Bowl on Media Row next week is me just yelling out at people, "Hey, you want to come on the show? Hey, come on over. Sit down." You know who actually sent me a text this morning? Tommy DeVito's agent. That's Sean.
Oh, wow.
He said, "Hey, guys, you're going to
I don't know how. I can't wait to see who's down there because from what I've been hearing with people that it's not going to be that well attended.
It's going to be all Philly and all Kansas City.
Yeah, it's in those markets, it's a big deal, but like shows like ours and it's not nearly as many people going down there to be a part of it because of where it is. It's really hard to get to. New Orleans is not an easy city to go to because of that reason. It's expensive, hard to find places to stay. It's difficult.
If wrong side calls, though, I said, let us know. We can still make it.
Fine. Under money's coming in here on the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I mean,
surprised by this? Total down to 48.5.
Yeah, they moved it elsewhere. They didn't move it here in Vegas. It's all 49s here.
Okay.
I mean, even, and Jimmy and Chris are posting it at South Point. Like, they took the bets.
On the under?
Yeah, at 49.5 is where they took the bets. So they're at 49 too.
Do you buy these games low scoring? Like Super Bowls for a long time were very low scoring. But recently they've been high scoring. And Chief games have been pretty high scoring too.
You know what the score was when these two teams played 2 years ago in Arizona?
38-35?
38-35.
Yeah. So we're going under? You betting under this game? Really?
I don't know. As of right now, I think if I have to pick, I'm picking over.
Right.
But I'm talking myself into really thinking Philly's going to win. So if Philly wins,
over,
the Chiefs don't score more than 24.
Fair. So it goes under.
So, 28-24 is 52. It's going to be right around the number.
Wow.
So I don't know. Yeah. Everywhere I look is 49. There's 148.5 with DraftKings. I didn't look at FanDuel right now. Put it where you're at, boys. Put the total for wherever you're at or whatever book you look at.
Huh.
I don't know. Wow, you like total yet? I don't know if I like anything yet.
I don't like anything right now. I mean, I'm just gonna hate watch this, and I'm gonna bet props most likely more than anything. I just don't know what to do with. I think Philadelphia is a better football team, but I thought the Niners were better last year too.
Right.
So, I was wrong about that. So,
J. Dow bets says Philly and over. I did a show today with Phil Lapone for the FanDuel Radio Network.
Okay.
And we talked about a bunch of things, and I talked about just the history of the Super Bowl, recent history. I mean, this is 5 out of 6 years that the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing a common opponent. They just played the Eagles 2 years ago. But this is shaping up to being and I'm trying not to let it cloud my thoughts, but this feels like Kansas City and Tampa. And you remember what happened?
When Tampa won with Brady? Who's Tampa in this conversation? The Chiefs?
No, Philly.
Oh.
The defense. They are going to make him run and beat the crap out of him.
Hopefully they let him do it.
And the Chiefs didn't have an answer. You remember how much Mahomes got hit in that game?
Yeah.
That's the way it's getting in my head. And I'm trying to see how
How come no one brings up that Brady's 2-0 against Mahomes in the playoffs? How come that's always gets forgotten? In an AFC Championship game on the road in a Super Bowl. How come that gets forgotten all the time?
JC from KC, OMG, Dave, we didn't have an O-line back then. What's that left side of the O-line right now?
You don't have one now. What do you mean, JC? Because my God, you got guards playing left tackle.
I don't know what that. We're down 2 of their starting guards. They were. Well, I don't know. I'm just saying that I think Philadelphia, if they have that success, wow, Joe Honler, I don't think KC scores more than 20.
I agree. I agree.
They ain't winning that low-scoring game like that.
Addison, no one's moved on. What are you talking about? No one's moved on. Everyone, that's all you're talking is hearing. It's Brady this, Brady, Mahomes that. It's all it is. No one's moved on.
That's your Boston echo chamber.
And it's not. It's the truth. It's all it is. Look around.
Did you hear? Look, you froze. There. Put that on the bingo card. The Matt Freeze face. I actually heard today that they were talking about they should change the name of the MVP trophy to the Tom Brady trophy.
No, Belichick said that.
Yeah.
Belichick's the one who put that out.
Well, they're talking about it on other shows.
Yeah, because Belichick on the Go Let's Go podcast, they were talking about the trophy and talking about Lombardi and everything else. And then Belichick just said, well, they should just rename it the Brady Trophy.
He said it matter of fact, tongue in cheek, right? He didn't mean it.
He floated. No, he meant it like, why not? Because they were saying, because how many trophies did Lombardi win? He's like, Lombardi, it's like you won 7, Lombardi won 2. Okay. It should be the Brady Trophy, not the Lombardi Trophy. Okay. So like it was more or less along those lines about the fact that Brady's been way more successful as a quarterback and as a player, way more successful than the guys who have the trophies named after them, type of thing. So, I mean, Brady's a 5-time MVP of the Super Bowl. Like I always laugh at this. People are always like, Mahomes is the greatest quarterback of all time. Like Mahomes, the Chiefs aren't even halfway there yet. Not even halfway there. They've got to 5. Great.
5 out of 6 years.
It's amazing, but they're not even half.
They're going to win Patriots 3 in a row and 4 out of 5.
Awesome. Amazing.
4 out of 6.
It's an incredible run.
It's the best stretch it's the best 6-year stretch in the history of football.
Sure. Yeah, I'll give you that. Of course. It's still not better than the Patriots dynasty, though. Patriots dynasty was 20 years. It's a 20-year dynasty. It was 9.
Two dynasties that you're.
It went to 9. No, I see. That's not. I don't. That's a bullshit line.
Reinvented themselves.
I think that's bullshit. To sit there and cut it in half and go, well, there's 2 dynasties, not 1. Nah, same coach, same quarterback. It's 1 dynasty. It's a 20-year run.
Only 1.
What?
How many guys were on all 6?
All 6? 2. Brady and Belichick. That's it.
2 different
coaches. Coaches were different.
Same uniforms.
Head coach,
dynasties.
Same quarterback, same dynasty, same run, same. They had to reinvent themselves, which makes it even more impressive. It's 1 team, not 2. 1. 20 years because they went to 2 Super Bowls and lost them in that run. So they still were going 2 Super Bowls.
No,
they still were going and dominating the league. So it's 20 years. So all this Chief nonsense. It's like, talk to me in 10 years, guys. Like talk to me in another when I'm 57, not 47. Got a long way to go before we get anywhere near the Patriots. Long way to go. It's great. It's great talking point. It's great fodder, but it ain't close. It's 9. They've been to 9 Super Bowls. Brady went to 10. Mahomes has been to 5. He's halfway there of appearing. He's got to win this one
in 6 years.
Correct. But he's been to 5 total.
Shorter time.
No, wait, hold on. Brady went to 5 and 7 years, right?
Okay. This is 5 and 6. So you beat.
I gotta look at that. I gotta look and see.
Okay.
I don't think it because in terms of teams, I think you're right. But Brady himself, that's an interesting. What Tom Brady did is interesting. I want to see what Brady himself did over the course of. Did he go to 5 and 6 years?
Okay.
Because Brady may have done that.
Come on, we're getting the whole show in here. Let's go.
It's not even. We have most of them coming. It's not even like I love this conversation. It's so good because it's going to go on for all of next week. It's all and no one's going to bring up the right stats. They're all going to cherry pick things and come into different bullshit lines. It's going to be complete nonsense because it is all complete nonsense. And so, look, if the Chiefs 4-peat, Roger, let's 3-peat first before we 4-peat, okay? Because 3-peat,
I will win next Sunday. I don't know if they're going to win next Sunday. A double freeze. Where's that on the bingo card, boys and girls? A double freeze? Oh, baby. He may be gone.
No,
Might
you
just
were
be me.
you
Hold
were
on.
you were almost gone.
You're back?
Yeah,
All right,
you
snap your finger.
went dark.
You
Wow.
got that. Turn that ESPN off in the back with the video.
I got nothing on right now. That's zero.
There's something running in the back with the
Twitter
video.
was on, but then
Well, that's
now
sometimes
that's
that does
gone.
it too. Get us out here and get the bonus.
Thank you very much. 5 and
Yep,
7.
Brady went to 5 and 7 years, lost to the Eagles, beat the
See?
Rams, Falcons, Seahawks, and Chiefs.
Ha.
There you go.
Ha. He won 4. So let's see.
All right.
That'd still be better than Mahomes. So let's see how that all rolls. Bonus time. We'll get to some college basketball games, NBA games, a couple of hockey games, as well as bet it or book it coming up here for us. Remember, tomorrow, if you guys on the replay, Kenny Mayne will join us at the top of the show tomorrow. We're talking about his event here in Vegas, and you could win 2 tickets to go see Kenny Mayne on Monday here in Las Vegas.
What time is Kenny?
2:30 Eastern.
So we're starting right before that.
Correct.
He's going to be at the top of the show.
Correct. Out of the
First
gate.
one in the chat tomorrow, CBW.
Always.
Always.
Bonus time starts now. Jalen Hurts is likable, unlike Brady. You think Jalen Hurts is likable?
Liability.
Oh, liability. Sorry. That's likable. Sorry.
Liability.
He is a liability. I'll give you that. Yes. Sorry. I was reading quickly. Thank you for that. I'm excited. I'm excited to see how Brady calls the game. We're really curious to see how he calls the game on Sunday, because he may have something to say. I don't know, with how loud Greg Olsen is being. Greg Olsen did another interview and he said publicly, I've told Fox I'm not going to call 1:00 games anymore. For the rest of my career, I'm not calling 1:00 Eastern games the rest of my career.
What does that have to do with anything?
He wants nationally televised Monday night, Thursday night, Sunday night. He's not calling. He's not calling 1:00 games anymore.
He wants the 4:00 game.
He wants the prime time. No, he wants big audience games.
Those prime time, those 4:00 games are sometimes 95% of the country.
Yeah.
Those are the best games to call.
Hold on. What's going on?
Oh, the dog. Rincon, I see what you're doing here. Bonus time lately has been like walking into the adult video section of a DVD store in the 90s and 2000s. Oh, baby.
Stupid cat.
Oh, my.
The cat is bothering the dogs. The dogs are going crazy. Cat gets bored and wants to go ahead and
The cat jags the dogs.
Yes, and then everyone barks and yells and screams, and it's just to get in there and stop the nonsense. Okay, couple things on tonight. Oregon at UCLA tonight. This is part of Better or Book It, but this is your late night game if you want one.
UCLA money line for sure.
Yeah.
They're winning the game.
Agreed.
You feel comfortable laying the 4?
I did.
4.5?
I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're winning.
Yeah.
This is against your guy, though.
Oregon's not been good lately. There's something up with Oregon. They already lost UCLA once at home. Now
What were you going to say? Oregon's been what? You
Bad.
almost said Oregon's bad.
Yeah.
That you can say like bumpkus.
No, bad. Not good.
Shit. We can say it right now. We're in bonus time.
Yeah, they've been bad. Nebraska and Illinois is your Big Ten game of the night.
Can you explain? This is not the Big Ten game of the night. This is a Big Ten game of the night.
Penn State, Ohio State.
Ohio State is a big game.
No one gives a fuck about the game but you.
That's
Come
not
on.
true.
No one cares about Penn State, Ohio State tonight.
Bullshit.
This is the game of the Big Ten. It's a ranked team on the road.
Suspicious. The kids would say this line is sus.
No, they got housed. Illinois got killed in their last game. Something's
It's
wrong
only
with them.
3.
Something's wrong with Illinois.
Nebraska sucks.
No, they've been bad recently. I wouldn't say they suck. They've been bad recently. They lost 7 games in a row. They've been bad recently, but they've had some big wins. They have some big wins.
This line only 3.5.
Yeah, it's scary, right? Because Nebraska wins.
You like Nebraska?
I mean, I'm not betting it, but if I was going to bet it, I'd take the Huskers at home. Yeah. Huskers need a win desperately. Desperately need a win.
I went on with Bob and Sam and the boys in Knoxville, and they asked me about this. They said, well, the real game in the Big Ten, they kind of did what you did, is Illinois, Nebraska, because the other game in the Big Ten tonight would actually be a good football game if it was,
Right.
Ohio State.
Ohio State, yeah.
And I was
True.
like, Yeah, that's funny. All right. A little
right.
too soon for that because that should have been the championship football game.
Right.
But he threw that pass and Notre Dame won. Still not over it. I don't know. I feel like I'm totally off. I would have had this number. What did Ken Palm have this number? Illinois.
4.
5? Okay.
4.
I thought 4.5 when I saw the number. I was like,
Yeah.
wait a second. Come on.
I mean, they beat Northwestern.
This is true, JR. 3-3-3-1-2, Johnny Parlay. This is a Big Ten game, Oregon, UCLA.
Oh, I forgot. It's a great point. It's a great point.
Great.
But this game's better than that game.
Oregon, UCLA is better?
Yeah, because I got to find out what's wrong with Illinois. Illinois lost to Michigan State and then lost to Maryland by 21. Then they came back and beat Northwestern. They've lost 3 of their last 5 games. I got to find out what's going on with Illinois. Because Illinois, you're right. Brad Underwood's team should go in there and kill Nebraska tonight. This should be an easy W. The fact the number isn't, they've lost 6 games in a row.
Right.
And last time out, they lost badly on the road to Wisconsin, 83-55.
I think you'll put, if I was doing it, I'd actually do both away teams. What's the 2-game parlay, boys? Money line. I think it's Illinois, Ohio State. What do you guys think?
Oh, I like that. I don't mind that. But I think Nebraska to lose by 3 is possible.
And then I would put UCLA in there too. There's your 3-game Big Ten
parlay.
Okay. UCLA money line, Illinois money line, and Ohio State money line.
So you're saying Washington to play here at 8.5?
I think it's too high.
It's crazy. Open up at 5.
I said 6.
Now it's 8.5.
Like that line should be 6. It might come back down. You got to have some major stones though if you want to go.
Just to bet this game. Period. I want no part of this game.
Period. It's putrid.
Putrid sucks.
Terrible.
There's absolutely nothing good.
Absolute shit.
Nothing in the game.
Yeah.
Houston's at Memphis.
Game of the night. This is the game of the night. 2 young teams, 2 and 3 in the conference, right? 2 and 3 in the West.
Yeah.
This is no joke.
Yeah.
This is the first game since the Rockets beat the Celtics on Tuesday, right?
Correct. Yep. Not on a back-to-back.
All running into each other. I can't remember the last time that whole middle of the week threw me off with the stomach, whatever it was. I don't know. Dog. This is dog. And I love Memphis.
Dylan Brooks' revenge game. Interesting. Dylan Brooks hit 10 threes against the Celtics. So if he does that again,
and he was telling everybody about
he talks. That dude talks like more than anybody. He talks.
He don't shut up.
LeBron, anybody, he talks. But it could be a Dylan Brooks revenge game. It's a good point. He could go with Houston to go and win that game outright.
I think that's an over to Houston.
236. Yeah, it's a high.
High.
Yeah. 236.5. To hockey, Capitals in Ottawa is a pick.
Why?
Coin flip. Really?
Why?
That's what I'm asking you. Why? I don't know.
Why?
I looked at it. I said, that doesn't make any sense to me. 5.5 total.
The Washington Capitals are the number 1 team in hockey on the money line return units for the season.
It's amazing.
The best, and it's not even close. Like I said something to the boys for the graphic tonight. Like up 15 units. The next team is up like 8.5 or 9 total units. And Washington is a dog.
Well, Winnipeg will be right behind them.
Yeah.
They're up. I mean, I think Washington's up like 40 or something. It's 34-16 to 35-17.
Yeah, but Washington's been a dog a hell of a lot more. So unit-wise, they're up.
Right.
Wow. Addison the wrench. You have to pull this up. I mean, Ottawa is a black hole of suck. A suctorium, if you will. They take the life out of everything they touch. Under is a better replay.
Play.
Better replay. All right. Oh, he hit the space bar before that.
Right, yeah.
Under for sure. Under. Absolute play. What's the total? 5.5 under. Wow. The books are not effing around with this one. Under's minus 130.
Yeah.
Or
we haven't seen a 5 yet. I haven't seen a 5 yet.
All season, I don't think I have either.
So it's coming. Fives will be here
I'd
soon.
make this 5. I'd let them bet us over 5 tonight.
Devil games will be 5 soon. They won 5-0 last night.
Correct.
But
Yes.
Devils will be
Yes.
5s. At some
Yeah.
point, we'll get to a 5. Home games in particular for the Devils. Islanders have won 5 in a row. They're laying 130 on the road against Philly tonight.
You got to bet the Islanders.
Got the streak.
Yeah. Wow, they're watching the show. 4 places just moved it to minus 140.
Hi.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, it's Islanders or nothing.
Yeah, it's got to be. I mean, Philly, I can't trust Philadelphia. Even at home, I can't trust Philly.
No.
Better to. All right, better to book it. We talked about this briefly. I like UCLA. I'll lay the 4.5. It's expensive to go money line, so you might get beat on that. But I'll lay it here. McCronnen's team at home against an Oregon team that's not playing well.
I think they're going to win. I hope for your sake they cover. I don't have a bet on the game, but I can't say that, Oregon's going to cover and
Right.
not win. So let's see, make sure. Say bet it. What time is that game?
Late.
Wow, it's all the way at the bottom. Good. Painted 4.5. All the 4s are gone. So if you're getting it now, you're getting the same number. Is the game played to the under or the over?
It's UCLA. It's under.
Okay.
That's what they do.
I feel better. I feel better if we do money line, but I'll say bet it.
Right. I agree. The money line's expensive. It's just not really like it's outside of that 3. Like once you get past 3 and 140, we start getting in the 150, 160, 170 range. It's like, don't like that. Vegas and Columbus. This number's gone, unfortunately. I got 6 last night. Over 6. Vegas, Columbus tonight.
Huh.
Starters are in. Columbus is in the number 1 over team in hockey.
Yep. Have they played already this season?
No.
You sure? I thought Vegas played Columbus in Columbus.
Only played twice. This is the first.
This is the first meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otto likes over too.
All 6.5.
Yeah, everything. And I don't mind an under 6.5, but I'll take the shot with 6 to go 6 and have a push potential.
What do you hockey heads think here? An over or under? Otto says over. King D's sports betting says over. Elvis versus Samsonov is the goalie matchup.
Yep.
Otto also likes a team total over for Columbus 2.5.
With Samsonov in the net, sure. Yep. Mm-hmm.
First period over.
Gift.
Going to first 10 minutes.
Over at 6.5 plus 104.
Garby says under. It's the only one so far.
First
First
period
over. I like that, Konowinski. All right, I'll say bet it.
Okay.
Although I mean it's 6.5. If there's no goal in the first 5 minutes, I mean you bet this thing individually. You'll get over 5.5, which I really like.
Right. Favorite thing about today is what?
Like I said, this is the 4th show I've done today. It's that time of year. So I've been talking all morning. Took a little break and stopped to see Iggy over at the Omelet Cafe. And the conversation with him alone was amazing, but it morphed into taking a picture of what's called the Orange County skillet that he has at his place.
Look good.
Would you put avocado on a breakfast skillet?
I don't.
You're a no?
I'm not an avocado. I don't like avocado. I'm okay with it on certain like protein bowls. I'll take it, but like generally speaking, the texture bothers me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not a very big avocado fan.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm okay. I mean, it doesn't taste bad. I just prefer. I mean, I'm a big breakfast skillet guy. Like that's my go-to.
They're amazing.
Yeah, because being gluten-free, it's only like breakfast can be difficult for me. So that's a go-to. Like whenever I go to a restaurant, you have a skillet, we're good to go because it's meat and it's mostly potatoes or something else along those lines. We're good to go. Right.
Yeah. This Orange County skillet was with like bacon, tomatoes.
Oh, yeah. See, I don't do tomatoes. I can do most vegetables. I'm not a huge tomato. I don't like tomatoes, period. But at breakfast, I really don't like tomatoes.
I don't know. This thing was great, and then they put the
Alvarado. I have a gluten allergy. Alvarado. I can't eat gluten. So
I might too. I don't know. I
really
might be going through. I don't know. I might be going through a change of life. I don't know what the hell's going on. Sometimes I'm wondering, go to these doctors, what's the problem? Sometimes the pipes, the cleaning is just great. Other times I feel like I'm backed up for days.
Oh,
I don't understand what's happening. It depends on what I eat. Literally,
right.
I used to just go. Now I need Drano some mornings or some days. Like, what's going on? What did you eat? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. So, but anyhow, avocado. I posted a picture, and I've gotten. It's amazing. I feel like I could give them the winner of the Winnipeg Boston game tonight and not get as much response as I'm asking if avocado belongs on a breakfast skillet.
Oh yeah, people get very excited about that.
Man, the food takes right now on the socials it's unbelievable. So that's my favorite thing so far about today.
Very cool. Two things for me. The first, this is going to be on YouTube. This is going to be on 25 platforms tonight. This is wild. So 2 venues, all of these artists starting at 9:00 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, will be performing alternating spots. So one at the Intuit Dome, one at the Kia Forum. Ballmer owns both. So whatever money that they raise, Steve Ballmer is going to match it.
Holy crap.
Like, that's how rich Steve Ballmer is. Like, this is an idea of how much money Steve Ballmer actually has, that these all artists are performing here tonight, which is a litany. It's for, all the way from Joni Mitchell to Jelly Roll. Okay. From Billie Eilish to Stevie Nicks. You got something for everyone here going to be performing tonight. That this is an unbelievable thing. My favorite thing about today is that that's how rich Steve Ballmer is, that he's like, yeah, go ahead, raise $50 million. I'll match it. Like, whatever the country is going to raise. This is worldwide. Whatever you guys raise, I got you. I'll double it.
So the Intuit thing is in LA. Where's the Kia place at?
The Forum where the Lakers used to play.
Oh, so they're both in LA?
Yeah. Yeah. They're like, I don't know, probably like 30 minutes apart.
Oh, I thought there was one East Coast, one West Coast. So
no. Both in California.
Both in LA. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all for that. So that's tonight on YouTube. 25 platforms will be carrying that concert tonight. It's a lot. So it's going to be everywhere tonight for this. And I just think for Steve Ballmer to say, I don't care how much money you guys raise, I got you. I'll match it is truly amazing. And then yesterday, John Cook retired as the head coach of Nebraska women's volleyball. When I say this guy is an institution, when I say this guy is an absolute, like, I had no clue how impactful a coach could make a sport.
Mm-hmm.
So I get to Nebraska. It's 2004. And so I'm learning the culture, and everyone's like, we're going to the Husker game. I'm like, Husker game? Like, what Husker game? Basketball's not tonight. They're like, oh no, we're going to the volleyball game. I mean, going to a volleyball game. They're like, oh yeah, it sells out like crazy. This is before they opened up the 10,000 seat arena. Right now it's a 4,000. At the time it was a 4,000 seat arena. Tickets were hard to get. I couldn't figure it out. I go and do these high school basketball clinics. No girls play high school basketball. No girls play basketball, period, in Nebraska. They all play volleyball. I'm like, why? Like, because Nebraska volleyball wins national championships. So as I'm learning and watching John Cook and watching, and then Creighton starts, they hired Coach Booth and they hire Kristen Booth and they give her a ton of resources. And now she has a top 10 program in the country. There's 2 top 10 programs separated by I-80 in women's volleyball in the middle of the country. Makes no sense. But John Cook abruptly, 68 years old, walked away, 4-time or 5-time national championship. But the coach that left Louisville is Danny Busboom. Danny Busboom was part of his 2006 national championship team that I covered for Nebraska in 2006. And now she's the head coach of Nebraska women's volleyball, which is so weird, full circle,
wow.
mind-blowing shit that happened yesterday. So congratulations to Danny Busboom. Congrats to John Cook for an amazing career. But the women's volleyball world stunned yesterday with him walking away.
Well, I mean, you just named 2 of the Final 4 of this past year's, women's volleyball. Penn State won it. They beat
Creighton
both of them.
Creighton got beat. Yeah, Creighton got beat. They made the Elite 8. Penn State beat Creighton on the way to the Final 4.
Yeah.
And then Penn State beat Nebraska.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Who did you guys beat in the finals?
Louisville.
Okay. And that was Danny Busboom's team.
Yeah.
That's where she left.
Yeah.
And now she makes the national championship, loses to Penn State, and now she's taking over. It's 39 years of age. It's so wild. It's like it's such a neat, weird round trip, but like to have that type of level of women's volleyball. And if you guys haven't ever watched women's volleyball in person, I'm telling you, you have to check it out because it is so fun. The speed in which those girls get off the floor and how hard they hit the ball back down.
I'm not sure if it's Friday or Sunday this week or next week, but the thrill is here. We're gonna go over and watch them play.
Okay.
If my other favorite thing about today doesn't happen, if we don't get a call about going to New Orleans or something,
Yes.
and or I hit a jackpot tonight on something, anything,
Yes.
I might call you and say I'm going to do the show from the road tomorrow because I'm going to be in North Carolina. The Big Consig and Middle Consig are on their first road trip down south to a place called Pembroke, North Carolina.
Yep.
They have a 5-game series
Against
at
Pembroke.
UNC Pembroke.
Yep.
Friday 2 games, Saturday 2 games, and Sunday a single game. And I was trying my best to get there, but you have to fly to either Charlotte or Wilmington and then drive 2 hours.
Yep.
And my wife was like, "You're not doing that." And I want to defy her and say I am doing that because Kelsey may make the starting lineup in one of the games as a freshman. So you only get one first game in college, and I would love to surprise them and be there. So I'm efforting. We got guys that listen to the show. Big Head Chad.
Yes.
He's like, "Dude, I'll pick you up at the airport if you fly to Charlotte." And
Oh, wow.
we'll go out to eat. I'm like, "Oh boy, here we go." I made contact with someone else. They said, "Yeah, come here. We'll go out." They got the meals all planned. I'm like, "Guys, I got to go watch softball. Like, I'm not just coming there to hang out."
Right.
So
I think they're gonna do.
I'll keep you posted, but that's the plan. We'll see.
Sounds good. He is Dave. I'm Matt. Roll Call Friday back tomorrow. Kenny Mayne, top of the show tomorrow at 2:30. Looking forward to talking to Kenny Mayne and hearing you guys and where you guys are watching the show on a Friday for Roll Call Friday for BBB.